Hello everybody, this is Allshouse Gaming and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Potionomics. In the previous episode, we went around gathering up more custom orders for our friends to help them out with their problems. Also, I looked into what we need for Salt and Pepper and Baptiste, and we already have the potions that we need for them. The only one I needed to brew up was for Muktuk with the Insight Enhancer. So, speaking of which, let us turn this in. Alright, mana potion, stamina potion. And a curse cure and a radiation tonic. Speaking of which, that reminds me, curse cure and radiation tonic down in the casks should be ready by now. Empyrean Aged Masterwork Radiation Tonic. Aged like fine wine. The potion is more valuable. And the same thing for the Curse Cure. Let's get those out on the display shelf so I don't accidentally get rid of them. Because I need those for the competition. And let's end the day. I'll never get credit for reaching that castle first, will I? Probably not. Atomic anxieties. After witnessing radiation poisoning firsthand, Raftons are more interested in limiting their exposure than shoring up resistance. Okay. See, an otherworldly microbe has proven catastrophic to much of the island's flora and fauna. However, life within the crater appears to be thriving. Craters increase loot drops. Crater ingredients will cost less. Huh. Well, doesn't matter. Let's make a save, and let's get... Ooh, almost forgot. I forgot to start the brewing process, didn't I? I did. Well, that's fine. I've got to save from beforehand. I'll be right back, but just letting you know. 3 black gold ore, dragon egg citrus, 2 sepulchre widows, 3 bogey berries, 2 fairy flower blooms, and an eye of newt. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and the crater thing has been changed to the Arctic has weaker monsters and decreased loot drops, and the Arctic will cost more. Oh well, there's also the Persecution Complex. As an area unease hangs over the town, Raftons are newly paranoid about being hexed and keen to mind their own business. A clutch of mutant dragons has escaped from the sublevels of Maven's Castle, carving a path of destruction as they return to long-neglected nests. Thanks. Anyways, grab up the potion for Muktuk and send it his way. Oh, and send all the others their way, but that's fine. Doesn't matter when you send it, you still get it unlocked for that very day. Alright, now we're going to pick up Salt and Pepper's stuff, and then we're going to start working on our rank 10s. Let's make an actual save this time, and I'm going to remember to get that cauldron upgraded to rank 10, or tier 2, so that we can see what it looks like. Let's just do that first before I forget again. We won't run you off. Yeah, I'm sure you won't. Sylvia, pull up a fishing rod. We gotta replenish the provisions. Let us avail ourselves of the ocean's bounty. And one another's company. At the pirate's direction, Sylvia baits her hook with a writhing mirthworm. Its toothy grin is unnerving. They cast their lines and soon Salt is singing. Oh, I wish, I wish, I wish for a fish. And I wish, I wish, I wish for a dish for that fish. The minutes crawl by, nothing bites. Wonder if we might have more luck if we were quiet. Or used more, I guess, appealing bait? Eh. Oh, we're just the decoys. We're supposed to be super conspicuous. That way the fish swim away from us and right into the blast fishing zone on the side of the boat. As the saying goes, you catch more fish with cannons. There's an explosion nearby, followed by a great splash of water. The pirates assembled on the ship's deck howl in triumph. Huzzah! Salt, now might be a good time to have the talk. Yeah, alright. Sylvia, there's something we gotta discuss. You know all that, hey, you're a blood brother, welcome to the family stuff? Might have gotten ahead of ourselves. Wow, so much for family is forever, I guess. You're still a blood brother, Sylvia. Yeah, we aren't dropping you off at the orphanage or anything. In fact, hold up, I started us off on the wrong paw. We need to have us a perlay. In other words, let's clear our heads and start over. Mental perlay. Discard 3 random cards. Consider it done. Now, what did you want to talk about? It ain't really no big deal. Just had some of the crew point out that you can't be a real pirate if you never made an offering to the big guy. Big guy? You know, the pious Piscine, saltwater savior, he of many scales and no fingers. The Great Katuna. All hail the Great Katuna! The Great Katuna? Is a pirate deity, I take it? The one and only. From his trench far below, he watches all that transpires upon the ocean's surface. When he is pleased, our ships can come and go without any hassle. When he's displeased, look out. Storms, tidal waves, primordial horrors, newly wakened and crazed with hunger. And once I got a splinter. Best way to stay on Katuna's good side is by making an offering. Big guy likes his cut of the booty, if you know what I mean. Okay, so you throw stuff overboard, like seashells, wine and mutton. More like cold hard cash, Sylvia, or the equivalent in precious goods. In your case, a couple of fancy potions would do the trick. Whatever it takes. If I need to make an offering, then so be it. Well, that's what we like to hear. In fact, since you got so much money to spare, maybe kick a little my way too? That's bordering on sacrilege, Salt. Katuna doesn't mind a little entrepreneurial spirit. Anyway, we'll give you some time to get your offering together. Trust me, it'll be worth it. Get in the deep water deity's good graces. And it'll be smooth sailing from here on out. If I don't want to run with Salt and Pepper, I've got to make a sacrifice to Katuna. It'll hurt my bottom line, but I've come this far. Mana overboard, even though we're not throwing a mana potion. Though I guess they are infused with magic, which is usually referred to as mana. Whatever. Salt and Pepper have asked for a monetary sacrifice to their pirate deity. To Sylvia, a tolerance potion and radiation tonic are as good as gold. And this is probably why I never got the tier 6 potion achievement until recently, because none of them require a dowsing potion, which I'm pretty sure was the only one I never made. I'm in too good a mood to be confined indoors today. Hold on. You want to play hooky for a bit? I like the idea in theory, but what if I'm needed here? Just put out some bar snacks, lock up the liquor, and leave the first aid kit with mint. Those heroes will be fine. You do have a knack for anticipating the needs of others, don't you? I hope you deploy that level of emotional intelligence in your haggling. Emotional intelligence. Raise interest by 8. If customer has an active debuff, raise interest by 25 instead. Ooh. Thanks for the tip, and the compliment. And actually, I'll take some bar snacks for the road, too. It's amusing. When I was a kid, my parents had to bribe me to go outside. I never wanted to leave the house. Now I think I'd go mad if I didn't get out into the open air at least once a day. I guess people change. But I had an ulterior motive for coming to this spot in particular. I wanted a proper look at that big, glorious skull. You see it there? It's hard to miss. The Kraken skull casts a sinister shadow over the beach. Although it sits in the shallows within easy reach, beachgoers all give it a wide berth. You know the story, I assume, about how a group of heroes came here to depose Maven, but first had to get past our guardian Kraken. The skull is all that remains of the creature. What do you think of it? It's an important piece of history. Leaving it there really connects this place to its past. Right you are. Foundational myths are important to any community. So is remembering the sacrifices made by generations past. 20 years ago, a band of adventurers set out on a quest to vanquish a fiendish witch queen. They knew it was insanely dangerous. Still, they left their homes and their loved ones behind. They hoisted their weapons and their sails. They answered the call. Why, though? For money, for fame, or because it was the right thing to do? The answer is, all of those reasons are correct. Their actions were courageous, their intentions noble, but they were professionals, and professionals expect compensation in return for their expertise. Yeah, we have a saying in my circles. A potion maker can't pull nutrients from the glass of swallowed flasks. It loses something in translation from the original Draconic. But the point is, everybody's got to eat, and in our world, that means making money. A concern that I personally never had. Baptiste thumbs a small flat stone he's picked up somewhere along the beach. He winds back, sending it skipping across the water. It goes a good distance, nearly making it all the way across the bay to the skull itself. Wow, you're good at that. Thanks. Living a carefree childhood, I had ample time to develop useless skills. It's only now dawning on me how all my little privileges added up to larger differences. Never having concerns about where my money was coming from, that left me ill-equipped to understand the needs of those in my employ. It seems obvious enough now that if I want heroes to join my guild and stay in my guild, then I need to compensate them for their vital labor. That's easier said than done. I'm not at all sure where that money should come from. Sounds like you have some thinking to do, and some math. If only that were all I had ahead of me. But our sparring dummies need to be stitched up, arrows and potions need to be restocked, and the dust monies look to be planning a revolt. It's hard to wrap one's head around systemic change when the chores never seem to let up. But this is the job. It's my job, and if there's a problem, it falls to me to solve it. So solve it I shall. I'd best employ these last few moments of the sea breeze, because when I get back to the guild hall, I have my work cut out for me. Baptiste sure has a lot on his plate. I can't solve all his problems for him, but at least I can provide some potions. Oh yeah, it's also thunder tonics that you never use for these. Heroes drink free. Baptiste wants to improve his hero's quality of life. Donating a health and mana potion would be a nice gesture towards supporting his mission. Yes, it would. And now that we've got all that, it's time to start getting some rank 10s going. And, of course, let's start with Mint. So, I owe you an apology. And a thank you. Basically, I should probably throw a whole parade in your honor at this point. You mean because of the speed potions? It was nothing. I just wanted to provide you with an edge out there. An edge that was handcrafted with love. Just for you. No legendary weapons required and no thanks necessary. As for the apology, what would you even be sorry about? All the wallowing. Self-pity is not a good look on an aspiring hero. Well, I can agree. In the case of an aspiring hero who's accomplished as much as you have. Thanks, but I don't know if I've accomplished all that much yet. Sure you have. Think about it. In your quest for an artifact, you've forged ahead where other heroes feared to tread. You've vanquished monsters, confronted dragons, solved riddles, navigated mazes, and scaled mountains. And I have good on authority that you did all this, saving a lot of pirates from a lot of trees. Sylvia, I think you're determined to make me blush so hard my head bursts into flames. Can we sneak out of here? I don't want any witnesses around when I combust. The weather is pleasant down by the water, and children frolic in the surf. But it's obvious to Sylvia Mint's eyes are drawn to the Kraken skull sitting ominously in the shallows. Good view of the Kraken skull from here. Yeah, as trophies go, it's hard to beat. Heroes are always comparing trophies, you know? We all want tangible proof of what we've accomplished. That was sort of my whole thing with wanting a legendary weapon. I wanted something I could point to and say, see? I'm worthy. I'm surrounded by people I idolize, Sylvia. The imposter syndrome is real. You might not have found your weapon, but you proved yourself worthy along the way. Right now, hearing you say that, I believe it. But will I believe it tomorrow? Will I believe it the next time a monster gets the drop on me, or I trigger a trap, or I oversleep? Believing in yourself is hard. It takes work. Daily, active work. Funny, it's easy for me to believe in you. It's about the easiest thing in the world. Sylvia, I don't know what I ever did to deserve a girlfriend like you. But in this case, I'm not going to waste time questioning if I'm worthy. I'm just going to thank my lucky stars that we found each other. And I'm going to make sure I show you how I feel, every single day. So show me, hero, or are you afraid? When you're around, Sylvia, I'm fearless. Fortitude. Applies Fortitude for 2 turns. Negates stress received from all sources. You have reached the max relationship level with Mint. Yep, no more ranking up. But we can still hang out. However, I still have other heroes I need to talk to. Hell yeah, Corsac, Zid, and then we'll end things off. Next day I'll send out the potions for Salt and Pepper and Baptiste, and then get to work on every one. Got a minute to catch up? Thanks for the potions, Sylvia. Your instincts were right. They came in handy during the hero's happy hour. Still not entirely sure why Baptiste called it that. It lasted several hours, and I witnessed a full range of emotions. Okay, but was it fun? I'm going to say yes. Also no, my experience was complicated. Well, it can't have gone as poorly as my senior prom did. Unless someone summoned an eldritch horror on the dance floor. Not that I noticed. Then it sounds like a successful event to me. Good to have that perspective, I suppose. My main trouble with the event, and it won't surprise you to hear this, but I found small talk all but impossible. Oh, I could ask the trivial questions just fine, but listening to the trivial answers, my mind wouldn't sit still for that. I'm sorry, Sylvia, but I can't bring myself to care what a grown man's favorite color might be. When people asked about me, well, I found I couldn't keep to the trivialities. You talked about the 3-legged coconuts, didn't you? Coconuts, yes, and spiny-tailed avocados, and those berries that you call rude names, or that call you rude names. Also talked about how to fight them, and how to do it without wrecking the whole forest. I talked about the things I care about, Sylvia, things of interest to me. Some people evidently took me for a real downer. They made excuses to step away, and they never found their way back to my vicinity. A few scoffed at me when they thought they were out of earshot. I'm sorry, I've been there, and it's hurtful. But why focus on the ones who left? Because the ones who stayed, Sylvia? They stayed because they were genuinely interested in what I had to say. I've never been one to chase approval, but finding it feels good. And it's not just approval, really. It's this sense that I belong here, this feeling of community. Sounds like the lone wolf found his pack. You might be right. Some of us are even getting together next week to discuss sustainability measures the guild could adopt. Looking forward to that. Right now, though, it's just you and me, and I like that too. Come on, let's prowl. You're suddenly very quiet. Well, just because a person isn't afraid to talk, doesn't mean he can't enjoy the silence. I've never been a fan of silence. It makes me nervous. And I've never been a fan of chatter for the sake of chatter. Saying that, it might sound like I'm grasping for a superiority of some kind. It's not that I mean to set myself apart from people. I'm not trying to be distant or unfriendly. But the truth is, my hesitation around social interactions, it's always been about one thing: fear. I was afraid people wouldn't understand me, afraid they wouldn't care about any of the things I cared about. I'm glad you're getting past those fears. I have you to thank for that. You never hesitated to join in on my hobbies. You never made me feel bad for rambling about my offbeat preoccupations. You expressed interest in what I had to say, and that helped me see that others might be interested too. And I haven't forgotten that this whole hero turn was your idea. Even when I was antagonizing you, you were just listening to me, hearing me, even then. I can't take all the credit. You've put a lot of effort into, well, making an effort. And you've done all that while staying true to who you are. We can agree on that, whatever changes I've made. I'm still that same old duck. I'm just a less lonely version of who I was all along. It's a good thing, because there's enough typical to go around. You're not so typical yourself, really. And we do make quite the pair. Sylvia, your friendship was one of the true joys in my life. Of my life. And if I'm silent in your presence, it's not because I have nothing to say. It's because I'm so comfortable with you and so secure in our bond that I can merely be in your presence and feel content. You know, I think I know what you mean. I guess not filling the air with chatter. In a way, it's kind of intimate. It can be. It certainly can. And the weather's real nice, don't you think? Suppose we'll have to work some on enjoying the silence. I know just where to start. When words fail me, I like to go for a bit of show, don't tell. Lessons from nature. Draw a card, raise interest by 10, gain 3 shield. Not bad. Basically a combination, I guess, of all of the... well, most of the cards. You have reached the maximum relationship with Corsac. And now for Zid. Sylvia, do I have a rave review for you. These potions you gave me were everything, like a cure for stage fright, writer's block, and the blues all at once. I'm glad you're feeling a little better. Though I'm pretty sure at some point I've probably given you that combination of potions before. Maybe? I don't know. More than a little. To be honest, I'm feeling inspired all over again. Not a minute too soon. I was way too quick to give up on writing. That's obvious to me now. Between the faith you've shown me, and an interaction I just had with a few new fans. Did they ask you for your autograph? Although, you must be kind of used to that by now. It's true, I've signed a lot of autographs in my day. And the longer I'm in Rafter, the more people figure out that Zid and Zidriel are one and the same. So when I got to my busking corner earlier, and a small group of people had gathered around, I assumed they'd figured it out and that they were there to see the international pop star Zidriel. They were there to see me. The real me. Zid, the humble bard with a song about an everyday hero. I guess one of them had been at the audience the night I debuted my new song. It made such an impression on her she brought her friends along to see me play. Zid, that's awesome. Yeah, it felt pretty awesome, to be honest. They didn't ask me to play the crowd pleasers. They didn't request the hits. They didn't even ask me for my autograph. They were there for my music. And when the performance was over, they promised to come back for more. I'm not surprised. You're so talented, Zid. Thanks, but we both know I'm taking a risk here. It's scary making big changes at this stage in my career. I've been so afraid of taking the wrong step that I basically stopped moving altogether. Talking to those people, playing my music for them on the side of the road, was exactly what I needed. It was a reminder that I should be brave enough to follow my instincts. A lot of people won't get what I'm trying to do, and that's okay, because the ones who do, they're the ones I'm writing for, Sylvia. The people who need to see themselves reflected in art. Bard of the common folk, huh? I like that. I like it too. Quite a bit. Say, you want to get out of here? Let's stretch our legs. So, how's it feel being a singer songwriter? Ha! Well, it feels pretty great at the moment. I've still got a lot of work ahead of me, though. You're off to a good start. Thanks. Although I can't take all the credit for that. And I have a confession to make. Syl, the subject of my ballad? It's you. What? Really? I thought you might have guessed by now. I mean, when I asked you who I should write about. You suggested an underdog, and you're the scrappiest underdog I know. Here, I'll sing you a few bars. The odds were against her, yeah, right from the start. She had next to nothing, just love for her art. She had no great powers, just natural charm. Soon patrons were dazzled, curmudgeons disarmed. Fear, though, would find her, it gnawed at her will. She doubted her prowess, she doubted her skill. Yet hark, she had allies, she was not alone. An animal helper, nested in her home. Challenges came, but none found her lacking. She settled her debts, she sent rivals packing. And when the sun rose on her final contest, she smirked at her foe. She wasn't impressed. She'd conquer this challenge, as she'd conquered the rest. There's a little bit more, but you get the idea. Wow, Zid, I'm I'm so flattered. You've really been paying attention, haven't you? I told you before, Syl, you inspire me. I meant that literally. Listen, I'm surrounded by so-called heroes all day, every day, and a lot of them are genuinely heroic. But they're not exactly toiling away without recognition, praise, and glory. Praise and glory are baked into the gig. And then I looked at you, at all you've accomplished in your short time here, and I thought, there's an unsung hero. There's someone who deserves some recognition. I'm not trying to embarrass you or anything, I just thought your story might inspire others the way it inspired me. My situation has been so stressful, I'm not sure I ever thought of it as inspirational. A real hero wouldn't though, would they? I'm glad to be able to share this success with you, Sylvia, and what's more, I'm honored to be the one to help you realize just how inspirational you are. I'm still not fully convinced of that. Maybe if I heard the rest of the song? Well, to be honest, I'm not sure it's totally finished. I mean, we don't know yet how your story ends. Wow, that's some pressure. I guess I'd better stick the landing. I have faith in you. Whatever happens, I'll be right there with you. Chronicling your adventures. Our adventures. Just try to chronicle my good side, would you? Ah, Syl, don't even worry about that. From where I'm standing, it's nothing but good side. Encore. Increase patience by 4. Can only be played if patience is currently 1. You've reached the max relationship with Zid. Alright, now to head home, take care of any cutscenes, and then I'm probably going to end things off. Oh, and I'm probably going to show off the Tier 2 Final Cauldron. Well, he isn't making it easy for us. Potionomics? The Seaborn holiday has been catching on with landlubbers who appreciates uniquely chaotic combination of gift-giving, petty thievery, and sacrificial offerings. Okay. Haunted halls. Efficiency-minded heroes are focusing on bringing ethereal essences back from their mining expeditions, balancing out their heavier loads. Okay. Alright, let's show off the cauldron and what it looks like at Tier 2. Not bad. And then let's turn in those extra potions and grab the Seeker from here. Empyrean Aged Masterwork Seeking Enhancer. Toss that onto the display shelf. Damn, 12,000 granted on the display shelf, but here, 11 grand. But I don't need money anymore. Oh, whoops, wrong way around. Alright, that is everybody's rank 10 unlocked. Gonna take care of that, upgrade this last cauldron to rank 3, even though I don't really need it, but who cares at this point? It's purely for the aesthetics. But that is all gonna have to wait for the next episode. So, if you guys like what you see, please leave a like, subscribe for future content, don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notifications when I upload, and please, leave a comment down below this video. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching.